This video is explicitly for people who are struggling with pornography and feel like they're losers. If you're a normal person, are well adjusted except for having a porn addiction, then there's plenty of other videos on my channel. If you're a loser, then I will say that the video will probably be 30 something minutes and this can potentially change your life. So don't fucking click off for your own sake. Now, your choices contribute to your state and where you end up. Imagine that you get out of a restaurant at 2 a.m. and decide to drive home. You're not even drunk but get caught in a drunk driving accident because of another driver. What do? You can choose to blame the other guy for being a bad driver, but at the end of the day, it was your choice of not looking out well enough for drunk drivers, knowing they could have been there. It was your choice of not driving slow enough. It was your choice of driving at such a time which resulted in you potentially losing your fucking life. It's not your fault. I get that. In many instances, it isn't. But it is your responsibility to fix it, to fucking prevent it. Karma isn't some bullshit judge in the sky, but instead you repeating your own patterns. Karma is you repeating your patterns, whether it be the way that you think or the physical things, which is the manifestation of your mental psyche, until you end up getting what you fucking deserve. If someone tells you that you're clingy and then you end up believing that and hence you act like that, of course people will tell you further that you're clingy, putting you into this fucking circle which you need to break out of. Same happens with pornography, where you watch porn and you think, why the fuck can't I stop? And then you think, I'm broken, I'm unimportant, I'm unwanted. This feeling of shamefulness, of hopelessness, etc. And then you think, okay, since I'm so down bad, since I'm so far gone, I might as well nut again. And you continue to do this again and again and again until you end up where you fucking are right now. The way that you break out of this is by understanding that relapse doesn't even make you weak, but thinking relapse means I'm a failure, that is what results in you getting back into it again and again and again. This creates that shame loop, and shame is the thing that fuels your escapism. You don't feel, you interpreted. The urge at the end of the day was just data. The slip at the end of the day was just feedback that what you're doing isn't working well enough. By you investing so much emotionally into it is why you're feeling in the first place. The suffering came from the story you told yourself about it, your interpretation about it. You're not fucking broken, you're looping. And you can break out of that loop. Before we get any further, hi, I'm Vansh, and I've been free from pornography for about 1.5 years, getting 2 now, and I broke a 9-year addiction. I felt multiple other people do the same thing in a far less time, like Ben, who quit his pornography whilst he was dealing with his A-levels and went on to get 9s or A stars, or Rehan, who had a problem with pornography for many years and went on to become a national level junior golfer, getting his life in order. That led to me personally becoming someone I can be more proud of. And I cannot stress this enough, my method has no urges, no problems, no relapses, no nothing. So I genuinely hope that you watch the video to the full extent and make some notes on it. That's all. Now here's the best way that I can explain the loop. You have problems of any kind. Let's say it's your job, it's your girlfriend or lack of it, it's your homework, it's your work, or it's the death of someone close to you. Point is that your problems will never end. Okay, some problems will be unsolvable even, but you can do your best to minimize them. You can do your best to treat them to the best of your ability or get rid of them. But what you need to understand is that problems will never end, and they of course naturally cause some level of negative emotion, whether it be grief from being unable to change the death of someone, or sadness or anger or anxiety or anything. All of these negative emotions, I will right now say, cause stress. Now what you do is short-term coping, which is called EBC. EBC means you cope for your emotions, you cope emotionally. So this is the true problem which is keeping you trapped. And this is what results in you going to drugs, weed, alcohol, YouTube, porn, reels, anything which prevents you from thinking, anything which prevents you from addressing the thoughts inside of your mind and how you can potentially fix it, because you feel that it's unfixable and hence you act like it. And so what this does is that it doesn't fix the problem, and it instead adds new ones. So instead, all of your problems have been increased. You are further in debt, let's say. You still feel lonely. You still have homework and it's piling on. The work assignments are piling on. The death of someone else could have been prevented if you had worked hard enough or something else like that, right? So what you realize is that this problem will never end, and hence you further get back into the cycle of having stress and then going to these EBCs, which results in you further being entrapped into it, and hence you have further a problem of porn/addiction. The way you get out of this is by understanding the alternative, which we get to, and what EBC truly does, because it's not really helping you. I need to understand that both emotionally and logically. So first we'll get to the logical part. This is your mental points. Let's say you started at 100 mental points, that's your baseline, and you all of a sudden feel bad. You maybe remembered something that you did a long time ago, or maybe you were shouted at by someone, or maybe you felt some sort of regret about something, right? So you had a dip and you went to 60 points from 100. And so you thought, I'll use pornography, and so use pornography and end up at 130. The nut and whatnot is short lasting, and hence you return back not to 100 but at 90. This is your baseline now, and you have gotten overall a net loss. Your overall mood hasn't improved, your emotional awareness hasn't improved, the way that you see yourself, anything which could have actually improved the things long term hasn't improved. So, what is the long term cause, the long term effect of emotional based coping? Let's say that you continue to do these cycles of emotion based coping, and what the long term effect will be. So, you started at 100, you ended up at 60 because of whatever negative reason, and hence you went at 130, right? Simple enough. But you ended up at 90. Now you still feel shit, so you want to go do it again, and so you watch pornography again. But this time, because your overall mood was worse, the high that you got from it was also lower, right? But this time, because the overall mood was worse off, your overall high from it was also bad. So you ended up at 120 rather than 130. The dip that you had because of it was also worse. Now you feel like absolute shit at here because something bad happened even more. And hence you nut again, and hence you end up at 100. Now you ended up at 120, and because your overall mood will be worse off because of pornography, at 80 compared to the 90 or 100 that you were not at previously. And now that your mood has gotten even worse, because let's say your overall mood is worse and you are more vulnerable to stress, you have gotten all the way till 40 points. And because of that, when you nut now, you will just get a high of 100, which was your previous baseline. And now your baseline is like 70 points. So are you seeing the problem here? Are you seeing that just focusing on this, following this will not make you happy, will just end up making you worse, and it will not have any good things to do for your emotion. If you have insecurity about being weak, then you go to the gym to fix that. But if you have to quit pornography, then doing shit like willpower or bloggers and whatnot will not fix the problem. Because imagine that you have a broken finger. What you're doing is taking a painkiller which gets rid of the pain temporarily, but it isn't fixing the problem long term. That's what you truly want to do. That's what you actually want. So what you need to understand is that, let's say shit that r/nofap recommends, which is things like going to the gym or using willpower or blockers will not work, because whilst they will improve self-efficacy, which is the way that you see yourself mildly, that's a bonus thing and not the main thing to help you quit porn. It's like going to the dentist for a heart problem. Like, sure, he can give you some pills here and there, he can tell you to drink water, but it will not solve the inherent problem. So why do you go to the gym? Why do you go to blockers? Why do you go to all of these things to quit porn? The true problem of porn or any addictive behavior at the end of the day is self-limiting beliefs. Whether it be about yourself, like I'm broken, I'm unimportant, I'm unwanted, hopeless, etc., or about how your life is hopeless and it doesn't have any meaning or anything else like that. To truly get rid of that, you need to journal your self-limiting beliefs and get rid of them. This is what gets me to SPC, which is solution-based coping. Now, the benefits of solution-based coping, which is pretty obvious, it means that you focus on the solution of the problem rather than focusing on the emotions, right? The emotions are instead here used as fuel to fix the problem. So what you do in solution-based coping is that you start at 100, you of course go to 60 again because something bad happened, but instead you take the long-term gratification route, you take the delayed gratification route, and hence your mood slowly starts to improve and improve and improve, and at the end of it, what you end up at is 110. Now sure, this isn't as much of a high as emotion-based coping, but this will be long-term, this will be long-lasting. And this will have a net benefit for you, right? You will feel overall better, you will feel better about yourself, about your capabilities, etc., and you will get better in terms of skills. Simple. So the long-term effect of SBC is that, let's say you started at 100, you did the cycle and you ended up at 110. You do the cycle again, the overall low that you will get to for whatever reason, like let's say you got sad, you will get less sad because you know that you can fix it, and hence you will end up at 120 this time, and this will be your baseline now. Your baseline will be now 120 because you've actually worked hard on how to actually solve your problems. You have trust in yourself. And this is why you should go towards solution based coping, even if it feels hard, because it will actually result in you making progress. Now, the best way to go about it, this is a simple format, is by the RAID method, which basically means that you refocus. You stop looking at the stress as the inherent problem and instead see the true problem, which could be, let's say, homework or problem or anything else like that. And you analyze what the problem is, what are the patterns of it, identify them, and then kill them, right? So a simple example would be homework. Homework causes you stress, but stress isn't the inherent problem. The specific problem, let's say here, is math. What in math? Trigonometry, which exercise is 1A to 13B. So okay, so you try, you fail at 10 of them, and then you see why. Perhaps you didn't know the exact equations, perhaps you weren't paying attention enough as to what the question truly wanted, but you understand that and you learn that and you write it in a book. Okay, I made this mistake, that mistake, and then you repeat it. The next time you fail at only 3 of them, and if you again repeat that, you fail at 0 of them or get 100% success. Now, of course, reality is a bit more complicated than that, but you're seeing the point. Pride is achieved, baseline self esteem is increased. The same method applies for far more complex problems because what you do is iterate over them. Failure here isn't something bad, but it's something helping you grow. It's feedback. And as a result, also, your problems start to decrease. Perhaps the problem that you have with the job decrease, perhaps the problem that you have with the girlfriend decrease because maybe you're seeing a few women are interested in you. Your homework is most certainly gone. The work has decreased, the job assignments are gone, and the relationship with the boss is better. You're earning more money, and hence the death of the people around you decreases because you talk to people who are overall healthier. You also have more money in case a family member gets sick and whatnot, right? So you have the ability to treat them, right? And porn addiction and whatnot is also gone because you found the right way to treat that. We'll get into that. Problems are still there, mind you. They will not go, and they will still cause some level of stress and whatnot. But because you have worked on yourself, you will be more likely to take them. You find them easier to work with, and you will find them fun. So this is how you treat addiction. This is how you treat yourself. This is how you treat pornography. Pornography is a symptom of having too many brainwashings about what it does for you. And you may think that it is bad, but your brain does not, and hence your brain, the way that you think, your thought patterns need to be convinced that pornography is bad. So imagine that there's a pros and cons sheet inside of your head, and your brain believes, yeah, and your brain believes that there's some weak stuff like delta force B or aggression, which is why I shouldn't be using pornography. But other than that, it doesn't really care about not using pornography. It doesn't really care about abstinence. So what you need to do is take all of these negatives, it takes all of these positives and turn them into negatives by actually seeing the truth about them. For example, concentration and stress relief cannot be true at the same time. Concentration inherently requires a level of stress. So pornography is actually causing you some level of stress, and it doesn't help concentration because it decreases your gray matter. Gray matter is the thing which is in your brain which is important for focusing. If it's decreasing your concentration, if it's decreasing your gray matter, then of course you will not be able to focus. So concentration is being decreased. Same with education. Education isn't increased because guess what? Pornography is optimized not for learning, but instead for what looks good on camera, what makes you stay, because so they can run ads, and hence they have a lot of fake ads, they have color grading, they have editing, they have a bunch of other shit which isn't based on reality, but instead of what will get you to stay, and hence it's not good for education. Then there's emotional beliefs that you may have, like pornography is a friend, it hurts no one, blah blah blah, and all of these are false because pornography isn't a friend, it's a abuser. It abuses your mind, it tells you shit beliefs about yourself, it worsens your mental health. So why the fuck are you listening to it? Shouldn't. Same with thinking that it harms no one. It's harming you. Why the fuck aren't you taking that into account? You fucking matter. So why don't you act like it? Same with I have low willpower. This is a self-limiting belief based on decades of old research. And when you actually start looking into the present research and what experts are saying, they'll say that mindfulness, which is basically thinking that rather than having the idea of willpower, which is basically that you need to run 100 steps and then you will need to rejuvenate and then you will need to recharge your mind, rather than bullshit like that. If you start thinking that, okay, I will just focus on the next step and then I'll take that, I'll just focus on the next step and then I'll take another step, and I'll ask myself if I can take another step, and then I'll say yes, and then again and again and again, you will find that mindfulness is the best way, because rather than running 100 steps and then improving your willpower, which results in you taking 105 steps next time, you can just take 1000 steps when you actually unlock mindfulness. Mindfulness is a far superior version of willpower. Hey, before we get further into the video, I want to make sure that you like and subscribe and comment, because it will help other people find the video and actually help them get towards freedom like you are doing so right now. There's also a course which is in pre-sale right now. So if you're interested in that, because the price will only continue to get higher, then there's the link in the description below. Now, I've told you all of this. I've told you that you need to take some pen and paper and just write down all of the self-limiting beliefs that you have about pornography and just see if they're actually true or not. I've told you the benefits of SBC, about how it will make you far more fulfilled long term, or that pornography is practically an abuser. But I still don't think that you have understood fully that your actions are your own, that you need to decide at the end of the day what the fuck you will do. So, here's 7 things that you're doing to maximize your misery. And number 1 is staying indoors, staying still, skipping the sun, skipping movement, skipping nature. Because you don't step out of the house, because you don't step out of the room, your room becomes your every room, and hence you get miserable because you aren't getting the warm sunlight on your face. You aren't talking to people actually outside of your room. You aren't socializing. You don't have a tribe next to you. You don't have people to bond with. And because of that, you are becoming lonelier, and that's quite literally worsening your health and taking years of your life. So the optimal conditions to stay miserable here is to stay indoors, to have no natural light, and to have no motion. Never fucking move. Be a fucking living couch. Second thing that you can do is fuck with your sleep. Start sleeping absolutely like a vampire. Wake up dizzy. Tell yourself that it's self-care to go back to sleep and wake up groggy. And don't allow yourself to ever have a sleep routine, because that will allow your frontal lobe to work. It will allow your frontal lobe to actually figure out problems and the solutions to them. But instead, what you should do is sleep late, wake up even later, feel like shit, and then sleep late again, because that's all that your life will amount to if you continue to do this path. Same with making your screens practically your habitat. Touching grass is scary, you should better scroll forever. Every second of the screen is a second that your brain could start repairing the damage that you've done, or think of solutions for personal problems. But we don't want that. Solving that shit will be uncomfortable. Instead, what we should do is just stay on the screen forever. That's clearly what you want, right? Same with using your screens to make yourself feel worse. Let rage bait, porn, fake friends, Twitter, endless drama replace real emotions. Let the algorithm curate your experience to maximize suffering, to get bullshit gossip which doesn't help you at all in your life, and learn that, oh, some kid got ran over by a bus. Truly, that's important information, It will make you appreciate life. Unless you see that shit every single day and don't take a break. Number 5, you should set absolutely shit goals. The brain is excellent in achieving goals if they are smart, which means specific, measurable, actionable, responsible, and time bounded. What you should be doing is the exact anathema of it. You should be doing vapid goals, which means vague. Don't define what you're going to do, what you're going to get. Amorphous, which means you don't know how much of it is going to be done. Pie in the sky, which means you can take some action on it, but you don't know what exact action you will take. Irrelevant, as in they don't really matter to you, and they will not move the pen forward in the long term. And delayed, which means you set a time boundary which is completely fake, which is completely unrealistic. For example, cleaning a whole ass room in like 30 minutes, and then because you don't realize the level that you're at and you get disappointed. Why should you clean your own toilet or fix your own bed when you could do it in a game? Or always you should have your goals above your level and disappoint yourself when you don't get them. You try to clean the whole damn house today rather than starting with making the bed, and do things one at a time, which clearly you can't do, right? It's something that you don't want to do. It's something that's harmful for you, actively harmful. It's something that will not move the needle forward, right? Okay, number 6, pursue happiness directly. Imagine happiness as a state where people are happy all the time. There's nothing else. Forget evolution gave you anger, sadness, bittersweet, etc. for a reason, so you could grow and prosper. Just focus on happiness. Never be grateful for the negative emotions, because they actively help you grow. They actively help you recognize the beauty of the positive emotions and whatnot. Just don't think about them. Just think that either I'm happy or I'm not. There's nothing else in between. That's what you are, right? There's nothing else to you. Same with following your instincts. Always follow your instincts. These instincts, you know how old they are. They are 500 million years old. Clearly, they're very useful for modernity. Generally, one needs to train their instincts for them to be better, but not you. You should just follow them blindly. You should trust them blindly, because that's who you are. You should just follow the impulse and regret it later. It's not like you can change, right? Again, this was all sarcasm. I sincerely hope you don't take any of the advice here. Instead, do the exact opposite. And the best way that I can help you overcome them is that you need to realize that there are three kinds of thoughts inside of your brain. There's the emotional or the mammalian beliefs, which are emotional beliefs like it helps me, it harms no one else, blah, blah, blah. Or the human or the logical beliefs, which is like it improves concentration, it improves my stress relaxation, etc. Or the reptilian or the primal brain, like I have low willpower, lust works like a pressure tank, which clearly isn't true. So I want you to truly ask yourself, which one of these brain parts are you? Are you the logical brain, the mammalian brain, the reptilian brain? Which one are you? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about it, or you can pause the video. Okay, trick question. You aren't any of them. You are instead the observer. You are the general who controls these thoughts, who chooses what they mean and what you can do with them. The best way I can explain this is by an exercise, and I'll say close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and observe what will your next thought be for the next 10 seconds. Okay, open your eyes. What did you notice? Perhaps it was some thought like counting. Perhaps it was some stimuli from your hand because it ached or whatever. Perhaps it was an urge or anything else like that. What you realize is that you, however, are separate from your thoughts. You are the observer who chooses what thoughts to embrace, what thoughts to give weight to it. And because you choose that, you are the one who can choose to get rid of the self-limiting beliefs that you have relating to it. So when you start getting rid of the self-limiting beliefs that you have about your thoughts, about the emotional brain or the mammalian brain or the logical brain, you start to see that you can change these guys into brave soldiers who can conquer things, can help you quit pornography and become free. To summarize, you need to firstly improve your mindfulness. You need to understand that you are separate from your thoughts. Your thoughts can be changed by logical and emotional processing, but you need to put some effort in. This isn't some passive fucking game. This isn't some dear diary bullshit, but instead what you need to do is journal about things which are deeply, darkly uncomfortable to you. And that's when you will understand, firstly, that your thoughts are not you, that your thoughts are bullshit based on self-limiting beliefs given to you by society or nofap, and you can easily overcome them. Lastly, there's the coaching and the course which I'm working on. I've helped multiple people like Ben, who was a normal as student, and with my help, he became someone who got top marks in his A levels. And you can be the same. You can be the same drastic change that Ben had. And then there's Rehan, who was someone who struggled with talking to girls, with not being able to study, with a bunch of other things. And with my help with quitting pornography, I took him from nutting every single day, watching pornography every single day for like an hour, to going cold turkey absolutely, and not having any urges, not having any desires, and him eventually becoming a national level junior golfer, which is something I'm really proud of. So I have been free for over 2 years, as I told you, and the reason I started all of this is because I almost offed myself when I was using pornography. I was stuck in it for over 9 years, and I don't wish that even on my worst enemy. The way that you feel about it, the way that you feel about yourself when you're using pornography, it just breaks you down in a way that not even torture. So what you will get is 5 hours of in-depth video content, much like this one, but you will not be limited by time. You will have far better graphs, you will have far better graphics, etc., and far more information, which will actually help you. You will also get bonus guides about weaponizing addiction for productivity. For example, it would be very nice to be addicted to something like walking or towards exercise, and also a dopamine detox guide to actually cleanse your brain and be healthy long term. Same with access to the dominant mind community after launch, which will have a bunch of like-minded people around you, not people who want to stay stuck in nofap, but people who actually want to grow, people who actually want to change their lives in a drastic manner and become someone they can be proud of. You will have multiple group coaching calls post launch, which will be weekly roughly. And because my approach is so active, because my approach actually results in you questioning pornography and what it means to you, what value you find in it, you will find that every week without pornography here results in your urges dying twice as fast as any other method, because you're actively questioning them, you're actively pursuing them rather than being a blind slave to them. So again, I'll tell you to join. The price will only continue to get higher, and if you watched till the end of the video, then I'm seriously proud of you, and I sincerely hope that you quit pornography. That's all. Cheers.